Next up, we're going to hear from Callum McMenemon. Apologies if I've pronounced that incorrectly. Callum is an advocate for cities that are accessible for disabled people and has campaigned for pedestrian safety and accessibility in Wellington. Callum has low vision, and this important lived experience has driven his career in accessibility advocacy. Welcome, Callum.
Awesome, Callum.
Kia ora. For years now, I have been staunchly anti-car. The private car was one of the worst decisions that humanity has ever made. Cars gave us urban sprawl, and they've polluted our air to the point where it is toxic for us to breathe, and it's toxic for our planet. Seemingly every month, there are news articles in the paper saying how terrible our road toll is in New Zealand, with 320 deaths on our roads in the last year, and nobody takes any notice. We call these deaths the result of accidents, but this is a lie. These deaths are no accident. They are literally the result of the funding decisions that we've made for our transport infrastructure. It is an obvious outcome of our actions, and it is deliberate. Our culture still engages in a form of human sacrifice at the altar of the almighty vehicle. 2 days ago, a pedestrian was critically injured 1 block away from my front door. Cars also emit toxic nitrogen dioxide and PM 2.5. PM 2.5 is a fine dust that is generated by exhaust fumes and brake dust and tyre wear. The Health and Air Pollution in New Zealand 2016 study, which is funded by the government, showed that air pollution contributes to the death of 3,300 New Zealanders every single year. So 320 people die from road accidents, but 3,300 die from the pollution that these cars create. But the car crashes are the only things that get the headlines. All of this is why I wholeheartedly support the Free Fares campaign. We must urgently pull every lever that is available to us to rapidly transition away from private cars. And cost should never be a barrier to anyone to transition away from cars. I fully support subsidised public transit for as many people as we can. I will never drive a car in my life because I've got impaired vision, so if I did get behind the wheel, I would increase the road toll rather quickly. So I don't even have a choice here. I must rely on public transport. Many disabled people also find themselves in this position. According to the Welfare Expert Advisory Group, 53% of working age beneficiaries are disabled. This means that for many disabled people, cost is a massive barrier for transportation. So affordable public transit is a disability rights issue. I remember one time transporting myself to a job was so difficult, it was one of the main factors that made me quit. I believe in a more accessible, more affordable, and more reliable public transit system, and I think that will improve employment prospects for many people, and especially disabled people. And many disabled people do not have access to public transport because it isn't accessible for them, so they end up relying on expensive taxi services, and this puts them into even more financial hardship. And above all else, we must defund the car.
Yes.